video. I'm kalikaiz. I'm here with Hamuda, MTG from all the way from Brazil. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, and thanks for the calling me for this deck tag. So many people asked, as you said before this video, and I didn't know that. So thanks a lot for this invitation.
Well, thank you for coming. Today we're going to be discussing Goblin Combo, which is basically taking these little goblins to school with first day of class. It says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste. So that synergizes with Putrid Goblin because it has Persist. So when it dies, it gets -1/-1 counters. But because it gets the +1/+1 counter back, they cancel out because of some weird ruling. And then all the counters go away. So you can just continue to sacrifice it to Skirk Prospector after having the first day of class on effect, and then make infinite red mana. And then you can use your Goblin Matron to search for your Dark Dweller Oracle, which says sacrifice a creature, exile a top card of your library you can play it this turn. So you can go through your entire deck by sacrificing your Putrid Goblin, and then you just shoot them with makeshift munitions, basically. You're not even playing the Lava Spike Goblin, huh?
The Flame Wave Invoker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's necessary, uh, because the card by itself it's not that great. So you can rely in the Dark Dweller Oracle and the only makeshift munition, especially in game one. You can rely on it. And there is another thing that many people think that you can just kill by makeshift munition. But when you are in a loop with Dark Dweller, you can actually cast all four first day of class and kill with creatures. You can go combat phase with like 4, 5, 6, 5, 5 and kill your opponent. Of course, in MTGO it takes a lot. I'm kind of very fast doing it, and sometimes take me 7 minutes to do it if I don't have make shift.
What I actually found was that first the triggers when they go on the stack, the first one is relatively quick. The second one is a little bit laggy, but as soon as you're 3+ triggers, it's crazy laggy. Just because the way that the program is coded. So if you're getting to that point, you probably want to hold your first day of classes as long as possible so that you don't have so many triggers on the stack as far as time wise goes, right?
Yeah. And here in Brazil, kind of worse. So
Right, because you have
uh,
server ping.
yes, and so a tip for MTGO it's try to relog some mm,
Yeah, one thing I
after a
show
game.
people is that I open the task manager here, and you can see the how much memory Magic Online is taking. If it goes, you gotta pay attention to your own PC. But if it starts to climb, like for me, if it goes over 2 MB here or 2,000 MB, it's going to be a really big problem. So I can't loop whatsoever. But I'm pretty familiar with looping with stuff like Altertron and stuff like that. You can
Yes, I think
also,
Outdoor Throne it's even more clicks, right?
I'm not
Outdoor Throne.
sure. I mean, it's a lot of loops. It's certainly a lot of loops. If you actually want to makeshift munitions somebody to death, it's a very large amount of time. It's like 15, 16 minutes of clicking.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So this deck is Rakdos, and you're basically using a bunch of dual lands with the Drawsforge bridges. So just straight up four of those makes sense. Three each of the Great Furnace and Vault of Whispers, and then slight hedging onto red with four mountains and three swamps, and then two of the Rakdos Carnarium, which is a bounce land. But the bounce land here is really just for a little bit of extra value in your mana base, right? You're not actually bouncing any other lands.
Yes, in this build it's extra value. You can keep like two landers, and you
Have three
most of
land
the time
drops.
you yeah, and most of the time you can win with 3 mana. So it's like Boros mana base that we use that we see like 16 lands or 17 lands and four bounce lands. It's
Yeah.
kind of the same idea, but the difference is we have faithless looting. So we can
Pick up a land and loot it
le-
away.
yes, we can loot away a land, In the previously build, we used to play two lootings, but now I try to swap for one green search, and I think I green search it's a much better card.
Yeah, that card is very, very good. If you're not familiar with it, you can bargain to sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. And if it was bargained, you look at the top four cards of your library, and you can put any of them back on top of your library in any order, rest in your graveyard, and then you draw two, lose two. Essentially, this gives you it's 3 mana to look at 6 cards, which is very, very powerful. Especially in this deck when you've got all your unearths and stuff to get them back from the graveyard.
Yes, I've on like I think 2 games putting the creature on the graveyard because a nerf cost one less. Like I needed, I didn't have 2 mana for Putrid Goblin, but if I put it into my graveyard, I could unnerf it and combo. So have that a little synergy. I think it's rare to happen, but can. S- And the idea behind it, it was actually seeing a gameplay of you playing Altar Throne. I saw the card as you was playing, and the card performed really well, right? So I took this idea and tried to put in the Goblin. But in the first time that I tried, it was without Dark Ritual,
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
and without Dark Ritual, the card seems kind of slow for Pauper. You don't have your Throne lands. You don't have any acceleration. Any acceleration. So Dark Ritual can do that. And when you Dark Ritual for a card that search for others, you are playing. You are doing 2 for 2, right? You're playing Dark Ritual for green search and picking another 2 cards. Like you're trading 2 for 2, but it's worth, right? Because you are
Because it's getting
accelerating
so
your
much
combo.
card selection there.
Yes, it's for the card selection. So that's
So,
why I think Dark Ritual is good. And besides, you can combo out of nothing when you have little man. Like you can, if you are lucky enough, you can Scurry Prospector, turn 2 Ritual, Patridge Goblin combo with first day of class. So
so
can
first
have.
turn two is the best possible then.
Yeah, you can do that, right?
So one
If
card
you
we
are
were
lucky.
playing before was Exhume, which is each player puts a creature card from their graveyard on the battlefield, and Troll of Khazad-dûm.
Yeah, so there's some flex slot in this deck, right? You can see Dark Ritual, Green Search, Faithless Looting, even the Chromatic Stars are some of the cards that you can swap for something, right? You
Yep.
can try to like build around, try to think the deck's more consistent. In the first place, I thought Exhume and plus Troll was very consistent because you have a plan B that was actually very strong because turn 2 6 5 you can win by itself, right? It can win, and if the opponent can deal or can't or can, you have your main plan that is combo with your goblins. Besides, Exhume can help your combo because you can uh, get matron back or every, any creature, right? So the
Things
carry.
that I noticed when I was playing against this deck was that I was like playing familiars and I went in on like full on Hydroblast, cutting all of my life gain, and then Dark Ritual cycle Exhume doesn't have anything to do with red spells, so getting around Red Blast is or Hydroblast as well, there, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so that's a part that you can. It's important. It's mine game mine sorry, it's meta game dependent. We right now having a lot of hydro in the meta, right? In the 3 weeks ago we saw 8 hydros, four and blue and four hydro. But when I build that build that I think it's good, the problem was that every deck had 4 relics
That's
per
also true.
four relics in the sideboard, so I couldn't exhume because this deck it's already weak to grave hate, and you are relying on two plants that was based on graveyard, so it was harder to make it work. Like even I lost against a guy who was playing BG Gardens, and he had Fairy Macabre, Fairy.
That's not standard though.
Yes, yeah, not that standard, but I remember that I played turn one Troll of Casa, cycling Troll, played Exhume. In response, he cycled his Troll and Fairy my Troll,
Oh,
and I
get a control back? Oh, that's
throw.
terrible.
Yes, I
I
Exhume
actually
for him.
I saw that
I
in a I was playing a paper tournament and the exact same thing happened. There's a person playing your troll exhume list. They cycled the troll and played an exhume, and the Ponza player cycled a generous ent in
yes,
response.
yes. I- I- So that's why I try to play another version, because in the first week that I played with this troll, like 1 month I played with it, not many players were playing cycling creatures, and now I think it's a standard in so many lists,
Yeah,
especially Ponza and BG Gardens. They have their creatures that they can cycle. So I don't know if it's right to change. I as I say to you before, I'm not playing that much Pauper, but I know how to play this deck well,
yeah.
right? So I think
This video will stand the test of time regardless. So
yes,
the
yes,
other thing
yes,
I'm wondering here is we talked about these are nine basically flex slots. Some of them seem less flex than others, like the looting makes a lot of sense and the chromatic star. Um, do you
yes.
consider the two duress in the main deck to be core?
I I thought a lot about that because you need Duras in your 75. You can't play without that, and it's not bad in general in your main deck because so many. It's almost impossible you don't face a deck without interaction. So you kind of always have a target for it.
And we
And
actually, I think I paired into you one time when you were on the exhume list. So you were on like troll and exhume, and then also a bunch of Nile spell bombs.
yes, it was instead of chromatic start.
So
I think I
would you
think
do like two spell bombs and for each of these, or three and three?
oh 4 and 4, but you have to cut some unearths because otherwise you will have s- much graveyard
Okay. So if you wanted to do the
interaction.
exhume package, here's your nine, but you're cutting some
Yes,
number
no,
of
no.
unearth,
You
maybe
cut an
two,
earth, maybe
two
two
unearths here, and
unearths.
then you can do three Nile spell
No,
bombs on
you
the main, maybe.
can. Sorry, let me. You have. I think you can keep one looting. One looting is okay. One or two looting is okay. Yes, you can put two or three, and you can do
Interesting.
like that.
It's certainly a strong way to play in a meta game where you know you're fighting against other graveyard based decks because that is something that is pretty huge right now in the meta game with all the terror and everything like that.
Yes, Nihil spell bomb was for that, s- and because when you exhume, you kind of want your opponent don't have a creature to get back, right? So you can nihil them.
And back in the past, there was a blue black Exhume list with like Strike Riverwinder and stuff like that, and there was playing like four Bajuka Bog, four Nile Spellbomb as a way to do that.
Yes, I think I was playing one Bojuka with two. No, I don't think I was playing with Bojuka Bog because I was playing less lands and I didn't want so many tapped lands because I think I was playing with. No, no, I guess there was a mistake because when you patrol, you take three lanes off, right? You play 16 or 17 lands. We can play 17 lands with 4 trolls because we change our mana base a little bit,
Because then the
but
bridges would turn into some sort of
yeah, we can play only 2 duels and keep the bridges. And and what can I talk about the mana base? There is more artifact right now. I usually play with 4 bridges, 1 furnace, and 1 vault of whispers because I hate to lose to not only gorilla shaman that I think it's not good against my deck, but people
people
bring
always
it.
bring it in. As soon as they see a Vault
Yes,
of Whispers, they bring Gorilla Shaman in every
they
time.
bring it. Yes, and it's not good. But when it works, I kind of tilt because
Yeah.
I think like why I'm losing to a card that it's not supposed to be good against me,
I have a
right?
good story about someone tilting off, though. I mean, I was playing in a tournament locally, and I was watching a Familiars player play against Bogles. The Bogles player post board, they attacked, and the Familiars player took damage to go down to 1, and then the Bogos player shot them with gut shot. And the Familiars player just looked at them blankly, like, "How did this happen?" And
why why you
the
have a
crowd
good
went
shot?
wild. Everyone was so confused, and the person was like, "I don't know." It was
Yeah,
great.
sometimes that happens, and you think like, I think I'm not, I don't want to play with artifact lands,
Yeah,
or even dust to dust. So dust to dust is actually okay because hits your bridges, so you don't want to have so many artifacts. In the other hand, I think we need to play those artifact lands now because we have bargain.
yeah. The Grim Search, you kind of need
Yes,
targets. Otherwise, you'd have to
uh,
go 4 star for Wellspring. Have you ever
yes,
tried
yes.
playing Experimental Synthesizer in this kind of deck?
I already played 2, and the card's not bad, but it I don't know how to pronounce it. Uh,
Incentivize?
yes, that word. Sorry, you to play more proactive,
And you want to
right?
be kind of taking
It's
your time.
yeah. You have to take your time because when you play synthesizer turn 4 5, it's not that good. It's not that great, right? You want to play turn 2 3, trying to find stuff that you can play it and go further, right? Like Mono Red or Boros Boros, right? And when you reveal a first day of class, you kind of, oh, I have to try,
Yeah,
or I'm losing one of my win cons, and actually that's very important because your deck, the the the, the, the main card of your deck, it's first day of class.
yeah. So
All
you know
all the
that
other cards, all the other cards, kind of have replace,
because
kind of have.
Goblin Matron, it makes either Spirit
Yes,
or Putrid into an 8 of, basically. Plus the
you have
Unwrits.
yes, you have 12 Skirk, we have 12 Putrid Goblins, but we only have 4 first day of class.
Back in the,
So
like a long time ago, people were playing Shred Memories. What makes you not play that anymore?
yes, was the last build I cut it because the card it's not bad, but I feel sometimes when you transmute, your opponent plays around it very easily, right? Because now he knows that you have have the combo, right? And Green Search, as you said, looks for 6 cards, so we can take a first day of class and another piece of interaction, or sometimes we can search for 2 first day of class, so we can. That's a lot better for 3 mana, right?
Have you ever tried making
And
like a Dark Ritual list with Shred Memory so that like a turbo go off
I
kind of
I,
deck?
I think we can play one. I I think it's not wrong to play one shred memory, but the card it's not make your deck more consistent. I don't think the card makes your deck more consistent. It make faster. That's that's true. Make faster.
It also,
Uh,
yeah, it does make it faster. The other thing is
yeah,
that Shred Memory can stand in for the Nile Spellbomb in the case where you go for the Exhume if you have extra mana.
yeah. I think
But I don't know if
uh,
that's super great.
I think that's a
It's
player
too many
cheat.
layers. I'm too big brain here.
Yeah,
One of the other
there is
things
a deck.
is definitely people should not forget that you can just cast Rowan's Grim Search. You don't have to bargain. You can just draw 2 cards and lose 2 life.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Do you want to
And
talk about the sideboard for a minute here?
there's a guy no just telling a story of I won a game with the 2 mana shred memory
Yeah.
against yeah, there's a guy who always plays Cycling Storm. I don't know how you pronounce that name, Tyrub.
Oh my God. You got all 4 of it.
Yeah. No, I just cycle I just 2 mana exile 4 cards and he couldn't combo in the turn that he wants. Yeah, he tried because it's a mirror, kind of mirror combo. You have to be fast, and he tried to be faster than me, so I just shred memory his 4 creatures, and he couldn't go off. Right, he lose some mana in the process. Yes, or the main deck nine spell bombs.
Yeah.
It's good against right.
Walked into that and I was like, why is this happening to me?
Yes, I think one time I played against you with Nihil, right? Main
Yeah.
deck. Yeah, it's a good. And I think the main deck it's good right now in the against some decks. I thought 1 mana cycle for throw against mono head was instantly win, but it isn't. He can just mono slash with spear, hit you, and you have to block, right? I don't think we will not block, and he can bolt and take your throw away, and and isn't enough. Then he can I don't know save burns for your combo. And this build it's better against the new mono red because he taps a lot, right? They have now Seal of Fire, I think,
Yeah. Sometimes people are playing Steel of Fire, which is
because of that, right? Because you
you
kind of
could
tap
just hit
out.
the sticker goblin, and that helps you a
Yeah,
lot, like in the mirror.
yes, yeah, because you hit 6 mana with Sticker Goblin and you don't want to spend your burn and you just play your Seal of Fire stick on the board.
Well, also the sticker goblin, it doesn't work if it dies before the trigger resolves. So this is a way of having onboard, like you can tap
Ah,
out and
okay,
make sure it doesn't work.
okay for the mirror. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Ended up being good against us, right?
Yeah.
And that's good. And in general, not having so many lava darts in the meta
Yeah, I
because
think
lava
that
dart.
the burn decks are they're not a lot of extra cards that they can use, and a lot of them are only down to the 4 or 12 bolts, and they're not really playing lava darts.
Yes, and lava dart is a nightmare for us because it's 1 card kill 2 creatures and it's very hard to combo.
So over here on the sideboard, we got 4 red blast, pretty easy anti-blue card, 1 more duress, so that's basically anti-counterspell, anti-combo. 2
Yeah,
cast downs. Are these to remove like what are you trying to cast down in this deck?
Gourmag Angler, some Tolarian Terror, because those games are not fast. They take a long time because your opponent will mana go, mana go, mana go, and you have to have some cards that can slow them down and not being red. It's actually good
Because they can't hit
because
with the
they
Hydro Blast.
yes they have a lot of hydros and and that's very hard to play it around it because it's 7-8. I even lost against. I remember that I was combo, and my last card was makeshift munition, and I thought, okay, I win, and they have a null, so there's so many cards, good cards against us in the blue, in the blue shell, right?
So, cast into the fire is exile and factor 1 damage to each of two target creatures. Are you finding this better than a braid?
It's versatile, right? You can hit two creatures, two little creatures. We seeing the blue black fey comeback, right? There's a lot of results right now with blue black fey, and casting to fire is good against those decks, right? And they have Nihil Spellbomb or even Relic.
That's true.
So
It's very good
the
into fairies because they tend to relic you for not, even though they could just fairy you out. They also
yes,
bring the relic.
yeah. So you this card it's very good because it kills their creatures. I don't know the comparison with a braid because a braid can kill some important creatures too, right? It kills ninja, it kills monastery swift spear. Uh, don't usually bring against familiars. Yeah, but walls. Yeah. I used to play Smash to Dust right against walls too. Smash to Dust was a good card against walls, but but isn't instant speed, so casting to fire kind of better.
Yeah. Cast down's probably
Uh,
better against walls anyway because of the instant speed,
to
spreading
to
things
to
out.
yeah,
And
well,
that,
I think I was playing Lightning Bolt in that slot because it was faster against Mono Red. So the problem, the main problem, I guess in the Pauper meta, it's that card is good against one deck, and both it's better against others. We can see that with Grixis Affinity that is cutting Galvanic Blast for cast down too.
yeah,
So so we know that Galvanic Blast it's a good card, but not that good right now against so many decks in the meta.
because the cast
Cast
down's going to be able to take out something like a Mere Enforcer with all the glitters on it, or a creature, or a terror.
yeah, yes. I think that,
Basically can only answer a lot of the 1 or 2 drop creatures.
yeah, I think cast down is really well positioned right now, right? In general,
And
as
it's
a
not like you can
combo.
afford to be playing a snuff out or something.
I tried, but it's hard to play with it. It's hard.
So
For life, it's much. It's
yeah,
too much.
you don't have the room. It's not like you're gaining life with this deck. And then you have Nile Spellbomb for graveyard based combo decks, I guess. And then
Yes, if you are playing Nihil Spellbomb main deck, you have +2 slots in the sideboard.
what would
The
you
idea
fill
that I
that with, do you think?
probably more removal spells,
Okay.
probably more removal spells because we play very different against very aggressive decks that can interact with with you. And I'm not playing a Spellbomb main deck because of the bargain too. Not that we need filter our mana with Chromatic Star, but as you play 3 mana for Green Search and bargain the Chromatic Star, you you get the card right. And with Spell Bomb, you have to pay 1 mana, and it's hard to pay that mana sometimes. So it's better to get your card without this that 1 mana, right? No.
One thing that we should talk about is the introduction to prophecy, which is draw 2 and draw a card, but it's a lesson. So after you cast first day of class, you can either, when you learn, you can either loot or you can take a lesson from your sideboard and put it in your hand, which means that when you're comboing, you now have a way to dig 2 and draw a card, which is extremely good. How often do you think you lean on just introduction to prophecy to get you there? Like you
One,
combo off,
only one.
you have infinite mana. You're gonna just get for introduction to prophecy and hope you start chaining.
Yeah, it's basically 70% of the time you lean on it because it's a window to combo. and you have to take it, right? So many times you have to take that window, and it's a preordain, right? Preordain is very strong, and preordain, and uh, sometimes you kind of see a second first day of class,
Yeah, and then
and you
you get to
think,
have a second introduction to prophecy, which is extremely strong as well.
yes, and so many people ask me why you play two and not only one, because actually matters the second one, because other first day of class becomes a cantrip, so it's very important, right, to have the second one. And a few games that happens, but when you flood with first day of class, you can turn it to a cycle, right? You just cycle for a preordain, cast it, and try to find your pieces to another turn, and so you go for first day of class and
It basically
try
gives
again.
you, I mean, you have the 4 Deadly Dispute and 3 Realms of Grim Search, Wellspring cantrips, Chromatic Star cantrips, gives you an extra 2 cantrips, which is huge. Turns first day of class to a cantrip, like you said, instead of just a loot,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
clears a little bit of lands. So I wanted to see if I could get your opinion on a couple of the top matchups, and then maybe some sideboarding, as well as like look at some opening hands versus these kinds of decks. So the
Okay.
first the first major part of the metagame is just burn. We've got 3 different types of burn. We've got Pinger burn, you got Sticker burn, you got Coldotha burn. They're all Swiss Spear decks. They're all trying to kill you really fast. Do you think that that's a bad matchup?
I think the pinger burn it's really really bad.
That's because of
Uh,
the lava darts.
Lava darts, and there's a lot of I think there is more burn spell than the others, like two or three burn spells. Not that a lot, but it's relevant having more burn spells. The sticker goblin have more creatures, and that's actually good for us because we uh, we have few creatures, but we have ways to bring them back or cycle them with goblin matron and a nerf. So we
And I
can,
guess that at that point you can just block and throw your creatures away just to stop them.
yes, yes, yes. And if you stop them like 3 4 turns, it's easier to combo.
So
Different
what would you
from
bring
the
in out of the sideboard against Pingerburn? And what would you take
finger
out?
burn. I would bring cast down, Duress, and a braid,
And then are you cutting?
because I cut the green search, two green search, and two. I need to see the build about the Pinger burn if Crack clan is good. I don't know if all Pinger burn use Kudota rebirth. I think they use, right.
They normally don't.
No, don't add. So that build you don't need Crack clan shaman. So I think I took two green search, two and two chromatic stars. I think.
That's pretty easy. Is Chromatic
Yes, I
Star one
think
of the things that you cut a lot?
yes. If you don't want, I don't think you can keep rituals, all rituals, if you are not playing Green Search. Because I think one, it's okay to cut. I'm kind of indecisive about those swaps because I don't like ritual without Green Search. Because doesn't matter you being fast against Finger Burn. I don't think that's the
You just
answer.
need to keep their stuff off the table.
Yes, or have a resilient hand with multiples nerfs, because and it's very important, very very important. Try to keep with a first day of class when you have it, like you, because it's the hardest part about the match. It's to have the first day of class. Like this hand, it's very keepable, but you won't win if you don't have the first day of class.
I think
I
this
probably
is like this is basically the nuts, isn't it? This is the best you could do, other than if this was a first day of class.
Yes, that will be the nuts because it's a very good hand. But if you don't draw it, it's kind of
Got a
okay.
Grim Search.
I will probably have you already used the matron, but okay. We already changed
Never
the
found a green. So let's look at
yeah.
another hand. Would you keep this
Keep
versus mono red?
yes, yes, yes. I would keep it.
That's hard to
I'm not.
throw away lands and combo pieces, I guess.
Yes, I'm not a guy that I saw some combo players that when you don't have your game plan very strict forward, like very, I'm gonna combo very fast. It's Mulligan. I don't like this idea in Pauper because so much value in your cards. I don't think that's the way that you play with the goblins.
Yeah, I
But
think
you
that
usually lose if you don't draw first day of class. You usually lose. It's hard to win just hitting your opponent. You don't have that much time to draw it. So that's why I don't cut all green searches, knowing that you will take some damage. And kind of important, one of hands that you showed, you had Skirk, Unearth, and Matron, right? And Deadly Dispute, or something like that.
yeah.
You have to play your creatures just to them. It's better a lightning bolt in your early skirks than your face,
True.
because you have ways to bring it back or swap for other skirk, and, and that's okay. So if you have chance to trade your Putter to Goblin in the early game, you trade. If you can try to, like, he hits with you with a Monastery Swift Spear, 1/2, and you can block with Putter the Goblin. You usually block it, so he needs to spend a burn spell on something, uh, so you mitigate damage, right?
Okay.
So the way you play against it, it's very important.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You have to mitigate damage.
Yeah. Okay. So what about so if it were a go wide deck, you're saying you're just going to bring in Quark Clan Shaman and not worry about these kinds of things?
I would bring. I don't think I would bring Durus. I can't cut Durus against those deck because they have fewer uh, creature interaction, and they usually are sorcery speed, like Anti-Festivities, or which light.
Yeah,
I
any
forgot its name.
festivities? I mean, that's the only
No,
sorcerer speed one.
the lightning bolt, that's sorcery speed.
Playing a lot of
Chain
chain
lightning,
lightnings, yeah.
chain lightning. So Durez, it's not that great. Durez, it's good against lightning bolt mostly, or I don't know. You can discard reckless impulse. We can discard too, but not that great. I think it's great only against Pinger Bird. What's its name? I forgot.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like this Skeleton.
Yes, yes. So against those go wide, we cut our Durus, two Durus, and
These two?
no, we bring cast into fire too, because we can kill some Epicure or even some graveyard hate like Relic, or even synthesizer. Sometimes you can kill if you know that he can't spend. You just have to slow them down, right? And I think it's easier because they usually tap out for creatures. There's Bushwalker too. You can hit with casting to the fire. Yes, there's some creatures we can hit with it,
So
and we need
do
kills
you
now.
sideboard against something like Poggers? Is that a good matchup for you, you think?
I think game one it's very good, but game two we now have like six Hydro. I don't remember. It's a lot of
Just
Hydroblast, at least six, right?
plus all
And
the friends.
yeah, so I don't think strengths it's that the real problem. I don't think strengths it's the the big problem of the deck. I think it's
What's
the
your
Hydro and the counter spell. We can play around it.
what's your
We
usual
can
way of playing around strings? Is it just by having double first day of class, or do you just like make a big board
we
and attack
can
their putrid?
depend what's on depend the board situation, right? Because if we can cast five putrid goblin, because he has to tap his only white creatures, and he doesn't have any blocker, we can just hit with big putrid goblins. Sometimes if we have a second first day of class, depending on your mana situation, and as you are combo, we you can just duress them and see what is the situation, and just combo in his upkeep with the second first day of class, because you have makeshift munition. Yes, or you can have the hugest board, like so many matrons 4 4 5 5. You don't win in the same turn, but in his upkeep, we can shoot some sacred cats or some uh, other creatures, and if he have another prismatic strands, you can play around. It's not that hard to win. I
So
don't think I guess I lost one time against it, because because my I played makeshift turn 2 against a mono white aggro player, and I didn't know they played the guy that kills. Yes, I didn't know he played main deck Downbringer Cleric, and I couldn't win because it's hard to play to win against mono white without makeshift.
Dominant Cleric is basically stock in any whitelist now.
Yes, yes, but
So versus
aggro I didn't know,
Hoggates,
right?
what's your take out and take in? Give me the rundown.
My, okay, so I take rituals because I don't think you have to be very fast. as as you dark ritual, and if you try to combo with dark ritual, he can play only one mana for Hydra. So the important part is to protect your first day of class, right? So we have to bring 4 head elemental blast, one Durus, and one Durus. I bring like that.
And then
If you
spearfinding, dark
and
ritual, and what else? Just the
dark
stars again?
rituals, stars, and I think I cut one on Earth.
We don't need the
And one
Carkline Shaman, so this
ah
is
no
five
no
out.
okay 5 5. Yeah,
Okay.
if you are not confident, we can bring Nihil Spell Bomb because
Yeah,
of their
as far as
secret
playing around strands and
cats,
stuff.
strands and stuff. I don't bring it, but you can, right? It's easier to combo if you exile their graveyard. It's of course it's easier to 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 combo, but usually I play like that because it's a deck that doesn't have so many blue mana in the early game,
Right, because
because
they
they
have
have to
tap
play
lands.
tap lands, or I don't know, Basilisk's Gate that doesn't generate blue mana. Another important thing, you don't play your Putrid Goblin without ways to sack
Right,
it.
because of Journey to Nowhere.
Yes, yes. Unless you want to bait him because you have another one. Like you know, if you play your Putrid Goblin, his only way is to journey, and in the following turn we have ways to combo around a Hydro, like that. So you have to be careful about journey usually. So don't play your Putrid Goblin away, because if you took if it's exile your unearth, you will be useless, right?
Sometimes they even have relics and stuff. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, so if you see relics on their list, if it's open list, you will bring cast into the fire, of course. It's safe to bring it because it kills sacred cats too. You gain time when they basilisk gate, so it's not wrong to bring cast to the fire.
Okay. Now, what about Azorius Affinity? So the blue-white glitters Affinity. Are you just going to bring in your anti-artifact stuff and try to race them? They're a pretty fast deck.
Yes, they're very fast. Uh, it's very hard matchup because if they have turn 2, 3, all the glitters, and in
You're basically
their
just
show,
dead.
yes, because they, of course, it's a nut hand, but they can do metallic rebuke in your first day, or post side they have their 4 or 5 hydro. They bring dust to dust to slow you down, right? It's not wrong to bring it. Uh,
I
I
feel like
think
I
you
would
have to
just
bring
go
it.
on like the two cast downs and a duress, and then
No, no, no. You
cutting
have to. I think you have to bring cast into the fiery braid.
as opposed to cast down. The
No,
thing
no.
is
With them,
with the
I think you have to be fast because a nerf it's not a good card.
I guess both a braid. So you're gonna cut on earth hairs.
Yes, you can. We can cut at least 2 or 3 nerfs. You have to be fast. So dark ritual is a good card. Usually I cut on those matchups. I cut one Icor because you don't have sometimes to do it. But I would bring 3 and one abrade, to cast into the fire, cast down. I don't know if I would bring red elemental blast. I don't. I sincerely,
I think it's
if
probably not
think,
worth it.
I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I know they can hydro your first day of class, but beside that, it's not actually a good card against them.
Some unrest
Uh,
or Wellspring. Maybe this like looting, maybe Chromatic
yes,
Star, or just
yes,
the
yes.
Chromatic Stars again.
Yes, chromatic star usually go out when you don't know what to take. You take some chromatic stars because they are replaceable. Like there is good cards, and like you. Oh, I prefer like that. Yeah. No, 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 no. Wait. Cut uh, uh a looting. We need some artifacts because we don't. In other way we don't have bargain. But like that I think.
I moved the
And
down here for Ace because I think my camera's still showing over here. I don't want people getting lost.
oh, okay. Yes, it's like that. Some like that. We have some gray area. Like
Yeah,
you can you can cut. You can think like, oh, Durazon, it's not that good, but I think it is. Sometimes Duras is it's a card that tilts me sometimes because you Duras they don't have it and they draw it have it. Like it
yeah,
happens.
that's true. That's the duress bug, the Thoughtseize bug.
Duras,
But
yes,
the
yes,
other thing
yes.
is duress is also really frustrating as the person trying to play control or the Hydroblast player, and you're like, okay, I see that it's in the clear. I take your one Hydroblast, and now you're dead.
They draw it again.
What would you bring in versus Mono Blue Terror? Just straight up all the red blasts and some cast downs?
Oh, and Nihil spell bomb.
So this is the 8 cards here. Do you want all 8 of
Yeah,
these?
that's its hard. We want, but we kinda disconfigure our deck, right? Because it's a lot of cards, and you can bring even the extra Duras. So it's a lot of cards. Let's see if yeah, let's see if I remember which cards that I take. I of
I found the
2
Chromatic
chromatic
Stars.
stars and three dark rituals.
Okay.
I don't think it's that great because they have so many interactions. Uh, yes, okay, so 5 cards there. 2 unearths. Uh,
Okay.
I think I take 1 green search because we have to take something. And the last one that I remember, it's looting or 1 skirk because I don't think the card it's good because you you need one, right? I don't know how to explain, but sometimes skirk it's the worst creature in your deck, right? Ca- and they can counter. I let unearth in my deck. I know They don't have bolts, cast down, snuff out. But I see many people when you play 3 mana Goblin Matron, they just counter. So I think some nerfs you need it because it's harder to. It's impossible to elemental blast it, right? So it's a
Yes,
guarantee
you're looking at a
matron.
third corner reading here.
Yes, yes, something like that.
That is
If
a
you
big amount.
yes, it's so many cards because this match it's I think it's worse than mono red sometimes. Uh,
No wonder you don't want to
It's
play this deck lately.
yes, it's who was playing? I guess Beso was playing 8 Hydra. It's
That's
so
pretty standard in blue now. It's 8 Hydro stock. And
eight Hydra. So why it's harder? Because they counter your 4 cards. You only have 4 cards, and they have actually 12, 14 counters. They have spell pierce, counter spell, hydro, dispel, uh, blue elemental. So they have a lot of counters for your first death class.
yeah,
So you have to play very careful sometimes. I have already on a game just hitting with Putrid Goblin because they have a lot of blue elemental. So I
yeah,
was playing Putrid Goblin. I so and they couldn't interact with it.
that's funny. So,
Yeah, the Exhume list it's better against mono blue Delver.
okay.
The Exhume list,
The thing is,
unless they turn one Scour Tolarian Terror, so
yeah,
that's a problem. But
um, I wanted to talk about the new old list that's coming back is the blue black fairies or Demir fairies. So fairies has always been like the combo killer, but do you think that your
yes,
deck is set up to beat fairies at this like the way it is, or how would you sideboard versus fairies?
oh, that's two. There are 2 cards that if you want to play in your sideboard because there's a lot of fairies in your meta. It's combo
Switches.
combage witches. I used to play that on my sideboard because fairy was very popular, and This was the best sideboard against it because it you can't snuff out.
Interesting.
Basically, if you turn 2 combage witches, it blocks ninja, it kills their spell stutter. So it's a very good card against them.
So with this
And
specific deck,
we might want that card again because of their comeback. This deck is good again, but with this list, I think uh, again the deck is not well positioned. But let's go again. Let's
sure,
try. we need
these are the
we
cards that
need
I'm
all
thinking.
we need all removal spells because spell stutter is the real. It's the danger. We
So
need
are you
to
going
interact.
more than
We need
just
to
this?
interact with. Yes, I don't like Duras in this matchup.
Okay. Are you gonna
I
cut
I
it
I,
post board then?
I cut it because sometimes you don't have much mana to interact, and they have like stutter for your Duras, and you don't have ways to interact,
Right.
and so it's very hard. You need to try to play instant speed against them. So I kind of bring all removal spells to interact with them. I cut all Duras, Chromatic Star, Dark Rituals, and here we have to cut. I think it's like mono blue delver. Like we cut a Skirk and a Green Surge. No, sorry. We cut looting instead of Green Surge.
That makes more sense.
Ah,
'Cause you're
okay.
in your
And
card
the other
advantage.
important, yes, an important thing when you think you have to play all your cards to win a game, you have to cut Fateless Looting because I know because the only card that you want to discard in a match that all cards are important, it's lands, right? Extra lands.
But at the same time,
The,
you want to be making land drops in those matchups.
yes, so looting ended up being not that great. So I think I'm go that way. And you don't bring Nihil because of their two Gurmag anglers. It's unfortunately if they have early game, it's the best card to finish the game, right? But you 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 ignore if they the Nihil spellbomb.
Big brain dump. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So you have a YouTube channel, right? Are you still making anything on YouTube?
No, I got hacked. Yes, because and it was a long time. Nowadays I'm streaming for Liga Magic. It's a Brazilian website about Magic, and they have a team that streams every day in Portuguese. So if there is any Brazilian or people who knows Portuguese watching your channel, I invite you to watch on Twitch, Liga Magic. Yes, okay.
Still Discord for the deck?
On the Goblins Discord.
Yes.
Yes. I usually talk with people there. I try to innovate and help. Some guys want. I remember now that you are talking about the Discord. Some guys try to uh, innovate with some cards like one that you were playing in your Altar Throne, 1 mana,
Candy Trail?
Candy Trail.
I don't know if that'd
Yeah,
be that good in this deck.
yeah. So I tried so many variations with how we want to build around it. Build around, right? What's the build around like? Uh, how do you want to draw cards? Your draw engine, and I think the best one it's always be Icor Spring with Deadly Dispute. I don't think
It's the best draw
it's a
engine in the
bad.
format.
Yes, I don't think it's a better one.
I mean, the only other
There
better,
is
the better one is Drifter Ephemerate, but that you can't play that in this deck.
yes, there is no Drift Ephemerate, and there is Night Whispers too. It's a good card,
A bit
but I
risky though.
think yeah, we are playing Green Search, but Green Search have card selection, so it's better. And some people ask me if we can play without the artifact pack because it will be more resilient to hate card. But I think the deck itself will be less consistent in the way that he wants to play it, right? Because makeshift munition is your win con. But beside that, it interacts with all your other artifacts. So especially against UB face, you sorry, I'm talking Portuguese. Blue black face.
Yeah.
If you cast makeshift munitions turn 2, it's like Affinity. It is the best card that you can turn 2 in your against your Fey opponent, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you need the package in your deck to play it. The card it's important because it's your win con, but it's good by itself when you have your artifact package. So it's hard to have a common sense on that. Like I don't like artifact, but at the same time, makeshift munition it's a good card by itself, and that's go goes on, right? You need your artifact lands because you can shoot phase, can kill your opponent with your lands because you are hitting your opponent since turn 2 with your Scurry Prospector. There, the games that I have played with this deck, I own so many weird games, right? Like without combo.
really appreciate you hopping on and going over this deck. It's one of those ones that it's got a lot of kind of like a cult following. Everybody loves the Goblin Combo. I found it very difficult to play on my own. Like I was always wondering when I was going to actually draw my first day of class and win the game. But sometimes you just have the nuts and you just combo them off. Every time I face this deck or face you, I feel like I have no chance. So I think it's a learned skill.
Yes, I guess you have to play to see it
Yeah,
how how it works when you don't have the nuts,
yeah.
basically.
Thanks again. And if anybody wants to check you out, they can. I'll drop your Twitter and the Discord link as well, and you can get in touch there. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Don't to finish, as I said, try this deck. Don't think it's tier one. Yeah, it's not tier one anymore. I don't know if it was one day, but it's a very cool deck to play it. Very fun to. I don't know if I am one of the few that like clicking on MTGO, but I like to go through my deck and because in real life they just concede, but it's a cool deck to play.
It's the same as me, man. I mean, I play I play Altertron or Mystic Sanctuary combo. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do lots of actions, go through my deck 600 times, and then in paper it's just like, oh, it's over, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
why did I come to this place?
How did I come? Yes, 5 minutes. You spend like 20 on MTGO, and in real life it's like 5 minutes a game.
You can just
Takes
hop
a
back
lot.
in, start playing Altertron, and you'll get the click heavy stuff. I won't have the goblins, but it's the same kind of idea.
I have to try that deck. I think it's better. It's better positioned than goblins. I think it
I
is.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Some
it's
tweaks still. Well,
right.
definitely come back and join Pauper. You can just pop back in again to take down the next PTQ with Goblin Combo if you want, or maybe Altertron. We're gonna get
Yes.
out here. Thanks again for joining. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.